Here is how to make Ethiopian breakfast staple. Easy recipe, homemade. There's something truly magical about the way food can connect us to cultures, traditions, and memories. Today, I want to share with you the beauty of an Ethiopian breakfast staple that has warmed hearts and filled bellies for generations: injera. It's more than just a flatbread. It's a canvas for flavors, a symbol of hospitality, and a cherished part of daily life in Ethiopia. So, let's dive into how to make this delightful dish, step by step, and I promise you, it's easier than you might think. First, let's talk about the star of the show, teff flour. This ancient grain is gluten-free, packed with nutrients, and has a slightly nutty flavor that sets injera apart from any other bread you've tasted. You can find teff flour at specialty health food stores or online. If you can't get your hands on it, don't fret. You can substitute with a mix of whole wheat flour and all-purpose flour, but the authentic taste of injera comes from teff. So, if you can, go for the real deal. Now, the first step is to measure out about 2 cups of teff flour. Place it in a large mixing bowl, and then add about 3 cups of water. The key here is to mix it well, ensuring there are no lumps. You want a smooth, pancake-like batter. Once it's all combined, cover the bowl with a clean cloth or plastic wrap and let it sit at room temperature for about 24 hours. This is where the magic happens. The batter ferments, developing a slightly tangy flavor that is characteristic of injera. It's like a little science experiment happening right in your kitchen. After a day of waiting, you'll notice some bubbles forming on the surface of the batter. That's a good sign. It means the fermentation process is working. Now, it's time to heat up your skillet or griddle. Ideally, you want a non-stick surface, but if you don't have one, just make sure to grease it lightly with oil. Preheat it over medium heat. You want it hot enough to cook the injera but not so hot that it burns. Once your skillet is ready, give the batter a gentle stir. You'll want to pour about a cup of the batter onto the skillet, swirling it around to create a round shape. The goal is to make it about 1/4 inch thick. As it cooks, you'll see bubbles forming on the surface, and that's exactly what you want. This bubbling is what gives injera its unique texture. It should take about 2 to 3 minutes for the top to set and the edges to lift slightly. You don't flip it over like a regular pancake. Instead, you'll cover it with a lid for a minute or so to help it steam and cook through. Once it's ready, carefully slide it onto a plate. You'll want to stack the injera on top of each other to keep them warm and soft. The beauty of injera is that it's not just a side, it's a part of the meal. Traditionally, it's served with various stews, known as wat, which can be made from lentils, vegetables, or meats. The injera acts as both a plate and a utensil. You tear off a piece, scoop up the wat, and enjoy the explosion of flavors. It's communal, it's interactive, and it's downright delicious. Now, let's talk about some tips to elevate your injera making experience. First, don't rush the fermentation process. The longer you let it sit, the more flavor it develops. If you're in a warm climate, you might find that it ferments faster, so keep an eye on it. Second, if you want to add a twist, consider mixing in some spices like cumin or coriander into the batter for an extra layer of flavor. Lastly, if you're feeling adventurous, you can experiment with different flours, like barley or millet, to create your own unique version of injera. And there you have it. A simple yet rewarding recipe for making injera, the heart of Ethiopian breakfast. It's a dish that invites you to slow down, savor the process, and share with loved ones. Whether you're enjoying it with a rich lentil stew or simply with a drizzle of honey, injera is a celebration of culture, community, and the joy of cooking. So, gather your ingredients, embrace the fermentation, and let your kitchen be filled with the warmth of this beautiful Ethiopian tradition. You'll not only nourish your body but also your soul, one bite at a time.